Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. And it's Sunday and I missed being on with everybody yesterday, but it was my BOGO sale yesterday with Diane. And so we were actually live on our BOGO retired Facebook group all day, off and on. We had lots of fun. I have to say by about 7 o'clock last night or the wrap up, we were getting a little tired and a little giddy, but we had fun. And I hope everybody that participated also had fun. The BOGO is still going on. So if you live in Canada and you are part of that retired group, you still have lots of things to choose from. There's still lots of things in my album to choose from. So you can hop over there. The link, I'm not sure if it's below this video, but I will definitely put it. So if you're not part of the group and you live in Canada and you're interested, I'll put the link underneath this video once it goes live. Hey, Catherine. Great. I see some people jumping on. What I thought I'd do today is make a card that uses the Butterflies and Flowers Decorative Masks. Hi, Lee. And I'll do some coloring with the masks using my blending brushes. I'm using watercolor paper. You don't have to use watercolor paper. It works really well on just regular basic white or shimmery white cardstock. But I thought for a bit of a different look, the watercolor paper is a little coarser. I guess that's the right word. Grainier is what I was going to say. I'm not sure that's the right word. But so it just kind of changes the look. It just gives it a bit of a more texture to it. And so I'm using those decorative masks and we'll make a pretty card. All right, let me switch over. Hey, Linda, welcome. Let's switch over to my desktop. Now, these are the Butterflies and Flowers Decorative Masks. So here's the butterfly one. So you get the solid butterfly with the shape. I'm going to get ink on my fingers. Flowers. And then there are flower ones. Great. This makes such pretty cards. And then there's a whole bunch. Oh, there's more flowers. Whole bunch of background ones. So there is this one that's kind of looks like vines. This one, and then this one. This is my favorite. Mine are looking a little sad because I actually used them in a painting class that I did, a mixed media class. So there's lots of uses for these, not just card making. But I'm going to use this butterfly and this flowers today. So we'll move these out of the way. Oops. These are a great set of decorative masks. They're so pretty and they give you such detail. All right, so we use those. My paper's all shifting here. There we go. All right, I am using Poppy Parade. One of my favorite color combinations is Poppy Parade and Petal Pink. So I have a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm just going to score it at 4 1/4. Oops, things are falling down. And as always, this is the side I scored on. So I say fold into the mountain. So the mountain is the raised line. So that's the score line on the other side. So fold into that raised line and grab your bone folder and give it a good crease. This is going to be a landscape card. So I have a piece of Petal Pink. Like I said, Petal Pink and Poppy Parade, one of my favorite color combinations. And then I've got a piece of the watercolor paper. Now, this is not sure you're going to be able to see a difference. This is watercolor. It's definitely a different feel to it. Definitely kind of coarser, more textured. And this is the basic white. Definitely smooth. A little bit of a different color. The watercolor paper goes well either with the basic white or with very vanilla, because it does have a bit of a yellowy tinge to it, like a creamier tinge than this. But this is for my inside. So this is a piece for the inside of the card, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And the watercolor was 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so a few tips with these. Now I'm going to do just a layer of this background. I'm not going to do it all over. And I'm going to do this in, let's move this over a little bit, in Petal Pink. So when I'm using my blending brushes, you can see I haven't cleaned them, and I really should, but I'm just going to take some color off of them. Just wipe them on your grid paper until the color stops coming out. Okay, pick up some color and then tap down on the lid. So I always leave the lid open. And when now I'm going to hold this kind of here because I don't want it to slip and slide. So I'm going to grab it in the middle because I want to make sure the paper underneath doesn't slide. And I'm going to start off in a circular motion, kind of off the side, making sure I hang on to this, picking up color as I need. Like that. Now I'm going to shift my fingers around a little bit. I want to hold this in place so my mask doesn't shift like it just tried to do there. Picking up some color. You need 3 hands for this. And I really just want this to be a little bit of color on the background, and it isn't fully covered over. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So I've just kind of laid the background here down using this piece. Now, the next part is I'm going to just put one butterfly kind of at an angle here. And I'm going to use Post-it notes because what I want to make sure doesn't happen is you can see these masks are quite close. I don't want to start sponging or using my blending brushes and then get the flower shape. This also helps to kind of stick your masks to your paper so they don't shift. So I'm just going to take some Post-it notes and cover up the openings where that flower is so I don't get my the color going through. And at the bottom, and because really right for now I just want to get the color of the solid butterfly. And again, I'm going to use poppy petal pink, and I'm going to go over top of this, and you won't see the stick that down. You won't see, it'll kind of hide the flower, but there'll be a little bit of flower because I'm not going to put all that much color underneath. So you get a little bit of the flower background in here. And you can make this as dark as you want. The Post-it notes are lifting up here, and I don't want that to happen. There we go. All right, so just lift this up, and you can see I now have my kind of background of my butterfly. Lift the Post-it notes. Now I'm going to add the details of the butterfly, and I'm just going to put this kind of where it needs to be. And again, I'm going to use Post-it notes, 1 to hold it in place, and 2 to make sure I don't get that solid image, the color going in. So we're just going to cover up the bottom of that butterfly there. And it also just helps to keep my mask in place. I'll put one at the bottom. That's really just holding this in place. Now, I'm going to do this in Poppy Parade. And again, pick up some color, tap it off. Again, this one you can do as light or dark as you want. And I'm just going to try and make sure I hold this so the butterfly mask doesn't shift. Like that. Make sure I get the dots. Okay, I look like I've got one side that's a little darker than the other, so you can go over it, and there we go. Close to the same. Oops, I need that. Lift these off. There. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's just so pretty. I just love these masks. All right, so let's stamp. I'm going to make this a thank you card. And I've grabbed, this is the Simply Succulents. And I really wanted it just because of this thanks stamp. And I'm going to stamp thanks. So let's see how straight my thanks is. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp it right here, right over top. Hopefully it'll be reasonably straight. Pretty good. All right. And while I've got my ink out, I'm going to just take and ink and just do this detail here on the inside of my card. Like that, just to give it a little bit of, all right, maybe I need to do this one too. Let's do that. All right, there we go. Okay, so now let's do the petal pink as well. That kind of looks kind of strange there with, again, I'm going to just take some of the color off that I have here. Maybe today I'll take these downstairs and actually wash them gently. I'm just adding some petal pink in here. I'm going to try, because I didn't bring my Post-it notes in. I'm just going to try and not get, there we go. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so that'll be for the inside of the card. Now let's start assembling. So we're going to put this on top of this with just some liquid glue. You can use Stampin' Seal, you can use tear and tape, whatever your favorite adhesive is. Oops, my ring glue is almost out again. You know, it's funny, I never used to use liquid glue, and I've suddenly switched over in the last 6 months. I go through so much, always seeming to having to go grab another one. Okay, so I've got this one on my petal pink layer. And somewhere, oh, here, I've got some of, this is the petal pink and organdy ribbon. Now this is retiring, which is very sad because I love this ribbon. At least I think it's retiring. So I'm going to just tie a bow. So I'm going to make sure I've got enough to tie a bow here along down this side. Like this. Let's see. Right, let's do it this way. Which way do I want my tails to go? I guess I want my tails to go that way. So I always flip my bow upside, or my paper upside down. So I flip it so that the tails, where I want the tails to be, in this case to the right side of the card, are facing the way I want them to go. And it just helps me get, I can keep it there, get my my bow with the tails going the right way. Sometimes if I don't do this, if I don't turn it upside down, I get the tails going all different directions. So just something I've learned now. I was a little cheap on my ribbon here. I don't want to lose this. I have to fuss a little bit with it. I just want a little bow here. There we go. Now I can kind of fuss and get them. I love this ribbon. Okay, there. So now I've got my tails facing the same direction. And I can trim this. All right, so now I've got my bow and I can adhere this to, now when I've got ribbon, I tend to use Stampin' Seal because the Stampin' Seal will help hold my ribbon in place. There we go. So I'm going to kind of go over my ribbon, and it just helps to keep the ribbon sealed down. And it's just a little thicker. So I find Stampin' Seal works a little bit better than the liquid glue. So I still have definite uses for Stampin' Seal versus liquid glue. Okay, now I grabbed some. These are the polished dots that are part of the Symbols of Fortune suite. Now I know these polished dots aren't available at the moment, but they are coming back in. But I thought these would be really pretty on here. The other ones that would go really nicely on this, because it's petal pink, are the elegant faceted gems, but I am out of those. So we're just going to put some of these polished dots. They say, Stampin' Up! Says it's Calypso Coral, but it goes really nicely with pink. I've used it even with polished pink. So it comes in 2 colors. It's actually, say, Very Vanilla and Calypso Coral. I've used it on anything that's Basic White. Oh, it's funny how those names, even though it's been probably over a year since we've had Basic White, still kind of come. All right, so that's really my card. Now, you guys may not be able to see this. Maybe if I bring it up here. I've got a little bit of, so I wasn't real careful. So I'm going to redo this one afterwards, and I'm going to flip this over and redo the butterfly, because I did and managed to get some ink here. But this will go on the inside of the card after I'm finished. All right, isn't that pretty? I just love it. Oh my gosh. All right, where are we? There we go. Find the right camera. All right, so thanks very much for joining me. This card I will be posting on a blog towards the end of the week. And so if you missed any of the instructions, you'll be able to actually even go back to this video, or the written instructions and everything will be on my blog. Actually, it will be Friday morning this coming week. You get to see it in advance. All right, so I will be live on Tuesday night with a sketch challenge at 6:30 Pacific. So you can come in either through Facebook, either my page, the group, or YouTube. And then I will be live on Thursday night with a mystery challenge, and I will be sharing the challenge at about 3 o'clock or thereabouts, maybe a little earlier, on Thursday, so you can be prepared. I'll tell you kind of what the challenge is going to be, and you can think about what the card you're going to make. And then I will come on and make a card using that challenge and talk about, I don't know, my way of using challenges and what my thought process is for them. But I hope you'll play along with me. You know, grab your stuff, think about it, and come and make a card with me on Thursday night at 6:30 Pacific. All right, and as I said, if you are from Canada and you're interested in getting some great deals on retired product, I have a BOGO sale going on through 7 o'clock Pacific tonight. It's where you can get the retired product for free if you place an equivalent order in my online store. So that means if you found $50 in retired product on in my album, you would put an order in for $50 and you would get the retired product for free. You just pay the postage to get it. So it's great deals at the moment. So if you're interested in that, message me, and I will also put the link to that BOGO group underneath this video. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. See you Tuesday night. Bye. Happy stamping.